Hello and welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Show. I am your host, Jay Jones. Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the Black community by promoting business ownership. If you are currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, we invite you to join us every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint.
Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 338. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding and informative show in store for you. Today's show topic is titled Build Your Platform or Perish. The easiest way to build your $1 million platform. Build your platform or perish. The easiest way to build your $1 million platform. Now, because this is the first show of 2021, I felt that I needed to start it off by giving you what I consider the most vital information I can to help you build a successful, sustainable business. So we're going to be talking about building your platform. Now, before we get to today's episode, I just want to share a few things with the BEB family. First and foremost, I want to wish everybody a happy new year. I hope you had a great holiday season. Now it's time to get back and get that grind on so we can make 2021 better than 2020. Also, I have some great guests coming up in 2021. We recorded, about 4 or 5 episodes are already in the tank. And next week, we're going to have Killer Mike on the show. So I did this interview a couple weeks ago, but we're going to have Killer Mike on the show. And make sure you tune in because this is once again a serious episode. And my man breaks it down and we talk about Greenwood Bank entrepreneurship and how he actually got into entrepreneurship. So we did a little something different. Many times when you see Mike on an interview, he's talking about the same stuff. So I asked him some other questions and we kind of pulled the curtain back and went behind the curtain to see exactly how Mike started out in business and what he's got going on right now. Also, I want to welcome all first-time listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family. Please stick around until the end of today's broadcast, and I'm going to share all my social media contact information and also my resource links, such as the link to my new book, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. Also, 2 platforms I've created to help circulate dollars in the worldwide black economy, BeSmartByBlack.com and HireBlackFreelancers.com, and also the new rebranded, rebooted BEB Academy, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Academy, where we have all types of learning tools, programs, courses, and trainings. So make sure you check out BEBacademy.com, but we'll talk about all of that stuff a little later. Today, we want to talk about, family, building your platform or perish, the easiest way to build your $1 million platform. So we're going to get right into it today, family. Build your platform or perish, the easiest way to build your $1 million platform. So if you've listened to the podcast for any amount of time, you've probably heard me talk about building a platform. And the reason platforms are so important is because it gives you predictable income. And one of the biggest issues, and I spoke about this last week, is that most times people just focus on their product or service. And then when they're ready to sell their product or service, they start scratching their head, figuring out, wow, who am I going to sell this to? Does anybody even want my product or service? And so by building a platform and a database, you're going to eliminate all of those types of issues and you'll be able to build a business for the long game. So let's start off real quick by defining what a platform is and also your database. So your platform is just your communication mechanism. So my platform or primary platform is the podcast, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Also, obviously, the show, I have a YouTube channel and social media that goes along with it. But my primary platform is my podcast. Okay, so your platform is the communication mechanism. How do you communicate with your current and prospective customers? So that's your platform, your communication mechanism, how you communicate with your current and or prospective customers. Now, let's give the definition of a database. So a database is a list of emails, not social media following, Twitter followers and all of that. It's a list of emails that you have acquired from your platform or from social media. Okay, so your database should be comprised of emails, guys. And if you have a big social media following, that's even better, because you want to use your social media basically to build your database. So there's all types of issues when all you have is social media followers. You can get kicked off of social media. There have been many big celebrities and influencers that have been kicked off of social media platforms. And what happens when you get kicked off those platforms? You don't have access to those followers. Now, that's all gravy. You want to make sure that you can build your social media platform as big as possible. But what you want to do is you want to lead those social media followers to give you an email address. And we do that by lead magnets. And we're not going to really talk about lead magnets much this week. We spoke about it last week. So check out last week's episode if you want to hear more about that. So today, like I say, guys, we're talking about building your platform or perishing, the easiest way to build your $1 million platform. So the question I had when I was thinking about the first show of 2021 was, what is something that is so important that I need to make sure that the BEB family understands? And here's this again, and hopefully you guys can put it in practice at the beginning of the year so you can reap the benefits later on in 2021. So I wanted to come out to shoot with what I see is one of the biggest issues out there for black businesses or any type of businesses that aren't successful. It's because of a lack of a platform and a lack of a database. Now, let me put this disclaimer out there. You can still make money without a platform and a database. So if you put up a product on Amazon and you're getting great reviews and people are buying it, you're going to make money. But the question is, do you want to be in it for the long game where you can have predictable income and you can control you build your database, or are you going to be in for the short money? Trust me, I've seen it happen. I've mentioned this before. When I started my first online business, my real first online business with my flat irons, when I first started, sales were going crazy. And then I got a complaint. Somebody said that the product that they offered, that I sold them, was not what was on the product listing, which obviously wasn't true because I sent all my product into Amazon FBA, fulfillment by Amazon. And when somebody orders, Amazon ships the products out. And what happened was pretty much that they shut that platform down for me. So for 7 days, they had to do research. And this was right around November, right in the busiest Q4 buying season. And I probably lost anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000 because my product was suppressed or taken down off of Amazon until they went into every warehouse that my product was in and actually did a physical evaluation to make sure that the product listing matched the product on the box. Now, if Amazon shut me down longer than 7 days, I would have been messed up even worse. Just imagine if they shut my account down, period. Okay, so Amazon, yeah, it is a platform to sell on, and you can make money on that, but you want to be able to control your database. So with Amazon, you don't get the emails of the people that buy your products, okay? You can't control that customer interaction. Those are Amazon's customers. The only way you can contact those customers is in your Amazon Seller Central back office, where they have an encrypted email, and you can send emails to that customer, but it's encrypted, so you don't know what their email is. And Amazon states directly in their terms of service that, hey, these are our customers, and we're letting you sell on our platform. So once again, you want to make sure that you control the platform. So if anybody shuts you down, you still can contact your customers. And I said this on last week's episode, I believe. I was talking about Prime Day and Amazon Prime Day. Everybody that sells on Amazon gets hyped for Prime Day because they tend to make a lot of money. Because that day is a day where, it's marketed on TV, social media, Amazon Prime, get your specials. But if you have your own database, you can create your Prime Day anytime you want. So if you have a list of 40,000 prospective customers on your database, customers and prospective customers, and you decide to do a special promotion once every month or once every couple of months, that's just like an Amazon Prime Day. But the difference is you're in control. So once again, guys, we're talking about building your platform or perish, the easiest way to build your $1 million platform. And so let me frame this again. I thought that this would be the most important episode to get out at the beginning of the new year to give you guys a chance to build your platform. And so what we're going to talk about with building this platform is the easiest way to do it. And what I've tested and what I've been doing over the years, and it's funny, unknowingly when I first started, but I always knew I needed to build a database, is I believe the easiest way to do this is building a platform is with a branded digital newsletter. So the question I said was, how can we systematically create a predictable level of income to ensure our success? And it's by building platforms and a database. And the easiest way that I see to build a database is a digital newsletter. Now, before I forget also, guys, I'm actually going to do a live training on Wednesday, January 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's titled Build Your Platform with a $1 Million Newsletter. So if you go to $1,000,000newsletter.com and are one of the first 10 to enroll, we're going to have this live training, and you're also going to get a one-on-one consultation with me after the training. We'll schedule that, and that's for an hour to help you build your $1 million newsletter. It's $97. It's first come, first serve, and I'm only going to be able to take 10 people because, once again, I'm doing one-on-one consultation. So we're also going to do a newsletter challenge. So whoever can build the best newsletter, is going to win a prize, and we'll decide what that prize is once we do the live training. But guys, I truly believe, I know the reason that many of you that are listening to this right now are not successful with your business, and it doesn't have to be an e-commerce business, it's any business. If you have a database of customers and prospective customers, I don't care what type of business you have, you're going to be more successful than somebody that doesn't have any database. So I always talk about the difference between $1 million launch and $100 launch. The difference between $1 million launch and $100 launch is a function of the size of the database. So it's not because these other guys are super smarter than you, but what people understand is that the larger the database you have of people that are aligned with your products and or services, the more money you're going to make versus somebody that doesn't have a database, that's just trying all types of shotgun strategies and tactics, versus somebody that's locked in and understands and knows who his customer base is. So what we're talking about, guys, is how we can systematically create predictable income levels to ensure your success. And I'm telling you, this is something that it drives me crazy, because as I do my coaching, I probably have about 12 to 13 coaching students right now. And the first thing I tell them is start understanding and trying to build an avatar of your prospective customer so you can start building your database. Because I'm telling you guys, if you don't listen to anything else I say today or ever, make sure you build your database. And what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the easiest way to do this is with a branded digital newsletter. So let me just frame this out a little bit. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with the newsletter called the Daily Skim, SKIMM. So it was started by two young ladies. I believe they were former producers at NBC or some local network. And right now they target urban women aged 22 to 34, and as of November 2020, they have over 7 million subscribers. And this is a multi-million dollar media company. Now, it started out as a newsletter, but they said in 2016, the Skim launched the Skim Ahead app for iOS, which directly inserts events into its subscribers' calendars. March 4th, 2019, the Skim launched its first daily news podcast, Skim This. It's available weekday evenings at 5 p.m. The podcast breaks down the news of the day and explains the context and clarity of each story and why it's important. It's the second podcast launched by the Skim after previously launching Skimmed from the Couch in 2018. So they built a newsletter into a media company. So you can start off just building a newsletter, but once you build that database, guys, that's when you can start really monetizing it. Okay, when you have the eyeballs, the money will follow. All right, when you have the eyeballs, the money will follow. So many times what's happening now is we're spending so much money trying to get in front of people all the time, but we're not capturing the people that we get in front of. And so instead of building up your database, you're selling to somebody one time and you're not catching them or bringing them back or keeping them in your fold. So let's talk about why one of the easiest ways to build a database and a platform is with a branded digital newsletter. So let's start. I just talked about the Skim, Daily Skim, but let's start looking at some of the newsletters that you read on a daily basis or periodically. Because what happens, it's a numbers game. So I get all types of daily newsletters, but I may only open them once or twice a week, but that's okay because they know it's a function of the numbers. So if they have 100,000 people in their database that are getting this newsletter and only 35,000 are opening it and reading it, guess what? That's still 35,000 people, okay? So let's start off, for example, with some of the reasons that a branded digital newsletter is popular, or I think is one of the best ways to build your platform and database. Number one, you don't have to create content if you don't want to. Okay, you can create some content, but you do not have to create content. So I talked about this on several episodes, content curation. So if you go to one of my sites right now, it's called phillysportsroundup.com, phillysportsroundup.com. And all that is, it's an a newsletter for all Philly sports, Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, Phillies, college teams that are doing stuff like Villanova, Temple, and all that. So phillysportsroundup.com. And I'm not creating any of that content, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm pulling in that content through software, okay? And it actually compiles the newsletter for me. So I'm not even doing anything. I can check to make sure the articles that are included in the newsletter are good articles that I think that my readers would like. But I'm not sitting there going through Google searching for all of this stuff. This is done automatically. So one of the reasons why building a branded digital newsletter is you don't have to create the content. So many times people are worried about, man, I can't create content. I don't know what to write. Don't worry about that. The content is there. You're aggregating and curating the content. So if you go to Bleacher Report or ESPN or any of these type of sites, they don't write or create all that content. They pull in content from other sources. Okay. But what they do is they brand it. So when I want to go get some boxing news, I'll go to fighthype.com. Fight Hype rarely does any stuff on its own, but it compiles a lot of the data or a lot of the articles and videos from the other sites. But they branded it fighthype.com. All right. So number one, you don't have to create the content if you don't want to. Now, if you like creating content or periodically you decide to write an article once a week or whatever, definitely want to do that because that's going to help your site get SEO traction also. Another reason is it's a non-threatening or non-salesy way to build a gigantic database. So, we get inundated with people selling stuff online. But if there's a subject or a topic that you like to read or if it be it just news, or if you love Porsches or whatever, and somebody offers you a free daily digital newsletter, why wouldn't you subscribe to it? Okay, now you're probably not going to read it every day, and you're not going to read every article, but it's a non-threatening or non-salesy way to build a gigantic database. And remember, guys, it's a function of the numbers. Another reason why a branded digital newsletter is great to build your database is because you create with auto content creation. That's what I kind of mentioned earlier. You can create your newsletter with auto content creation. So you can literally, some of the software that I use, you can literally set it and forget it. Meaning that I give the sources that I want the articles and videos and Twitter feeds or social media feeds to come through. So if it's sports, Philly, I actually use Philly Sports Roundup. So that comes from Bleeding Green Nation, which is an Eagles site, phillyvoice.com, Philadelphia Daily News, and a couple of other sources that have Eagles news all the time. And what happens is that content comes into a feed in my back office. And what happens is the software actually puts together the newsletter, and I have it timed to go out at a certain time each morning, and I don't even know what articles are actually going to be in there. So it's really set it and forget it. And I'm not going to get deep into the how right now. I'm just trying to give you guys an overview of why building your database with a branded digital newsletter, to me, I think is the easiest way to do it. Okay, now there are other things you can do also, but once you get that database, and we'll talk about this on the live training. Once again, don't forget, if you want to get on the live training, we're only taking 10 people. Build your platform with $1 million newsletter, and that's Wednesday, January 13th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. We're going to have Q&A. We're going to do a live training. So just go to $1milliondollarnewsletter.com to enroll. And I only have 10 spots, and it's first come, first serve. And the reason being is I'm doing one-on-one coaching with everybody that's in the training afterwards once we schedule that. And I just don't have a lot of time to do it for a whole lot of people. But go to $1milliondollarnewsletter.com if you want to enroll. It's only $97. So as I was saying, some of the software that I use basically allows me to create this newsletter. I set it and I forget it. Literally, when I get a copy of the newsletter in the morning, I don't know what's going to be in it. And one of the software platforms that I use is basically it uses AI, artificial intelligence. So based on the type of articles that I open, when I get the newsletter, it's going to feed me those type of articles. So if I open mostly Eagle stuff and don't open Sixers stuff, it's going to start sending me more Eagle stuff. And once again, it's a source for me, non-threatening, to get information that I want. Okay, so we're talking about building a branded digital newsletter, and here's some of the benefits of building your database this way and your platform. So you don't have to create the content if you don't want to. It's a non-threatening or non-salesy way to build a gigantic database. You can auto-create the newsletter. You don't have to physically sit there and do it. Also, it builds trust and authority with your platform. Your platform is building trust and authority. So when they go in and they see that you have all these great articles on whatever subject that the newsletter is in, they're like, yeah, man, this is great. So you know that based on certain platforms, if you have trust in that platform, that means you may buy something from that platform because you trust it, you know it, and you've interacted with that platform. Another reason is you can build your audience anonymously. So unlike my podcast where it's me, Jay Jones, on Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, if you have a job or you work in an industry and you want to do a newsletter in that same industry, but your boss or supervisors may not look too kindly on that, you can be anonymous building your newsletter, your digital newsletter. How many owners of digital newsletters do you know? Probably none, right? So I always talk about indestructible income, and we haven't even gotten to the income components. But once again, the more eyeballs you get, the money will follow, right? So you can be anonymous. So I don't know who, I know who wrote the skim, the Daily Skim, because I read it and it's super large. But Bleeding Green Nation, I don't know who's behind that. I don't know who's behind Fight Hype. I don't know who's behind some of these other digital newsletters. So you can be anonymous, okay? And once again, that comes in with indestructible income. Next, easy monetization. So there's all types of products and or services that you can sell at any time. When you have a captive audience that trusts you, that goes to you for that type of content, right? Then you can sell the product. I'll give you a real life example. So if you own a travel agency, and I've used this before, and you have a travel newsletter, and you're giving out great content, you know, COVID is going on right now. You know, people are locked in, but when we start to travel, they're going to need resources. So there is a newsletter called smartertravel.com, and they tell you that their monetization is all through affiliate links. So they'll talk about the best suitcases. They'll talk about the best travel places, the best airline fares, all of that type of stuff. Quality information, but when you go to click on that link, it's monetized. Now, just think, for example, with Philly Sports Roundup. I told you guys on a previous episode, and I'll just breeze through this. A lot of times during the holidays, I create a sweatshirt and a T-shirt called the 700 level. Now, the 700 level used to be a level, the top level in Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia where the Eagles played. And it was rowdy because that's where the cheap seats were, and that's where my tickets were. And so people know, if in Philly, if you say the 700 level at the Vet or just the 700 level, people are like, oh man. So I created a shirt that said 700 level alumni. I had a picture of Veterans Stadium, 1971, I believe, to 2004, 700 level alumni. And every holiday season, they sell like crazy. So with this Philly Sports Roundup, I can sell those shirts, print on demand. You know, once travel starts opening up, if I want to, associate or affiliate myself with a travel company, there's a couple of companies that travel. You're able to travel to the Eagles games wherever they play. They put together packages. So I can become an affiliate for that. I can create my own stuff. And that topic right there, Philly Sports Roundup, I mean, there's tons of monetization opportunities for me there. But just imagine I talked about Porsches, right? One of my good friends loves Porsches. So you can sell aftermarket parts on Porsches. You can sell videos, tutorials, all types of things. Remember, there are only 6 things that you can sell, guys. Your physical products, your digital products, your services, somebody else's physical products, somebody else's digital products, and somebody else's services. All right, so we're not going to really get into the monetization per se, but just think about things that you like, right? Or things that you read and how they monetize that, any newsletters that you get. Also, another big type of newsletter is an industry newsletter. Okay, so there's a newsletter that I get all the time for digital marketers called Clicks Daily, CLICKZ Daily, Clicks Daily. And what it is for digital marketing companies and newspapers and media companies. And it has all types of advertising in the digital newsletter. It also has help wanted, classifieds, all types of stuff. And these guys, actually, it's not these guys. It's one guy out of, I believe he's in Florida, and doing $20,000 to $30,000 a month, single by himself, building up that Clicks Daily newsletter. All right. So you have easy monetization. Another reason that you want to start a branded digital newsletter, and what I think is the easiest way to build a platform and a database, is you can always send offers to the database outside of the newsletter. So yes, you have the people that subscribe to the newsletter, but you can have other offers, affiliate offers. You can do joint ventures with people outside. I mean, not in the newsletter, but you can do outside emails to that database. But the beauty of it is when you have a digital newsletter, you can have articles in there, and you can also put videos. You can put all types. You can put offers for products or services in there. So say you have a camping newsletter, right? Which my cousin and his wife are getting ready to do a YouTube channel, but I told them they need to start building up the newsletter too. And that's probably going to be easier, where then you can drive people to the actual YouTube channel. So you build that up. Well, look at all the types of monetization aspects you have if you're into camping. You got all the gear, the shoes, the backpacks, the clothing, the coolers. I mean, like the Yetis. Oh my God. I saw one. I was in Cabela's for the Christmas holiday looking at some stuff. I saw this small cooler by Yeti, and it wasn't even fiberglass or anything like that. It was like canvas. That thing was like 200 and something bucks. But people that are really into that space, they gravitate. Merrell, the shoes. I mean, all types of different monetization aspects, building up a digital newsletter, guys. A digital newsletter. You think somebody that's into camping isn't going to tune in or register or sign up for a digital newsletter about camping? You know, especially if you get like, I think my cousin was telling me about one guy has a site called Black's Camp too. I haven't really looked at it that in depth, but if you can niche it down, and it's crazy. So the opportunities are there. And what we're talking about today, guys, is build your platform or perish. The easiest way to build your $1 million platform. And to me, I believe it's a branded digital newsletter. So we can also, once again, send out offers to your database outside the newsletter. And here's another thing which I love, guys. It's a low-cost way to build a real business for the long game. A low-cost way to build a real business for the long game. You can literally create this digital newsletter for about $50 per month, plus any paid ad fees. And the biggest cost is going to be your email autoresponder. So I use convertkit.com, and that allows me to send out, my daily emails and the actual newsletter. And it costs $29 a month. So you'll probably spend another couple of bucks for your domain name, your hosting and all of that. But really, it doesn't cost a lot at all. And remember, this is a long game. This is a long game. This isn't something that's going to get you rich overnight. But what it is you're building assets. You're building an asset. And something else I want to touch on real quick is what I call domain domination. And I'm going to tell you guys in the next couple episodes about a tool that I've been using recently. I've gotten away from ClickFunnels and lead pages, and I'm starting to use another software that I'm testing out right now. And it really takes into account the actual domain, because what happens is ClickFunnels and lead pages, and I know I'm digressing, they're reroutes. So if you had a website like phillysportsroundup.com, right? I want to be on that domain because I can start getting organic traffic and SEO stuff the more content that I put out. So you want to be able to get that organic traffic too and not have to pay for all your traffic. But so the last thing that I wanted to talk about was it's a low cost way to build a real business. And like I said, it can cost you less than $50 a month. And if you can't invest $50 a month, then you got to do something to get ready to get into business. I talk to people all the time. Oh man, that software costs $49. One of my good friends, he keeps trying to go the cheap way. And I'm like, yo, man, you got this funnel builder that is garbage, right? I'm not calling out any names. I'm like, you're not getting any SEO. You're not getting any domain domination or recognition. I said, it's cheesy looking. I said, yo, man, you got to invest so you can earn money back. And I get it, man. Money is tight, especially what's going on today with this COVID and people being out of work and things of that nature. But, yo, if you're in business, you got to be in business, not business, business. All right. So yeah, we ain't doing business. We doing business. And in order to do business, you need to have the tools to be successful in business. Now, before we get to the last part of the show, I just want to share all my social media contact information and resource links. I'm going to make this real quick. All right. So first and foremost, everything I'm about to tell you, you're going to be able to find on bebconnect.com, bebconnect.com. So I mentioned at the top of the show, my new book is out, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. You can go to anewblackdollar, blackwallstreet.com. Pick yourself up a copy, $14.95 for the print version, $9.95 for the digital version. Now, if you need additional assistance building your successful, sustainable e-commerce business, my new flagship course is out, Brand Builder Academy Elite, BBAelite.com. It is a 14-week intensive program that takes you from point A to point Z to help you build a physical products business or a digital products business from concept all the way to fruition. So go to BBAelite.com. Use the code BBAElite100. Save $100 off the program. It is only $97. Pound for pound, my best individual program. BBAElite.com. Use the coupon code BBAElite100. Excuse me. Also, at the top of the show, I mentioned two platforms I've created to help circulate black dollars in the worldwide black economy. BeSmartByBlack.com. If you are a black product producer and you want to sell your products to black consumers, upload your information to BeSmartByBlack.com. It is free. Now you can sell your product to black consumers worldwide. BeSmartByBlack.com. Now, all you freelancers, I didn't forget about you. If you do anything on Fiverr.com or Freelancer.com, go to HireBlackFreelancers.com, HIRE, BlackFreelancers.com. Once again, it is free to upload your information. Now you can connect with black consumers and black businesses that want to hire black freelancers. All right, so HireBlackFreelancers.com. Also, I mentioned at the top my new rebranded BEBacademy.com, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Academy. It is a learning portal where I have all of my courses, all of my trainings, and additional content to help elevate your entrepreneur IQ. You get 5 days free. It's only $29 a month after 5 days. Now, this free trial, the try before you buy, you go in and you have access to completely everything in the academy for 5 days. After 5 days, you can either cancel or you can stay on in, and we put content in the academy continuously. All right, so that's BEBacademy.com. Now, also, don't forget my other new book is coming out. I'm pre-ordering. The pre-order is out for my book, Message to the Black Entrepreneur. And it's the 14 Laws of Prosperity. And you can go to BEBmessage.com, BEBmessage.com, and you can pre-order the book, Message to the Black Entrepreneur, the 14 Laws of Prosperity. Also did a show on that last week. Also, guys, I mentioned during the middle of this show, my $1,000,000newsletter.com live training is Wednesday, January 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to go for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So we'll be there from 7 to 8:30 or 7 to 9, depending upon how many questions we have at the end. And once again, if you're looking to build your platform, this is the easiest way. We can only take the first 10 because I'm doing one-on-one individual coaching for 1 hour after the training. You guys could just schedule that with me afterwards, and we'll go through and we'll help you build your digital newsletter and build that platform. It's only $97, so just go to $1,000,000newsletter.com for that. Now, let me give you all of my social media contact information real quick. Remember, everything I'm telling you right now is at BEBconnect.com. So don't worry about writing it down. Just go to BEBconnect.com. But my email, anything long, family, hit me on my email at jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, JAYJONES at blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, Facebook, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, Twitter, JJones001, JAYJONES001, Instagram, JJones for real. That's JAYJONES, the number 4. REAL. YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, family. I have additional content on YouTube that does not come out on the show. So go to YouTube, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you lock that in. We're going to be doing a lot more in 2021 on YouTube. Also, LinkedIn, connect with me there, J. Jones, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Also, if you are on Clubhouse, which is the new audio platform. Check me out, link up with me. I'm at I am J Jones on Clubhouse. So make sure you connect with me there. Once again, everything that I just said, family, is on bebconnect.com, which is a page on my website. And that'll have all the links to everything that I just told you. Whew, damn, that was a mouthful. All right, let's get back to the end of today's show. Build your platform or perish. The easiest way to build your $1 million platform. All right, family, we're about to close it out in the next couple of minutes, but I just wanted to recap or rehash real quick. The reason I started off today's episode, this year's episode, with this topic is because I've wanted to give you the most vital information that I see to build a successful, sustainable business, and that's building your platform and your database. Remember, your platform is your communication mechanism. It's how you communicate with your customers and prospective customers. Now, your database is the list of emails that you've acquired from your platform or from social media or other places. Now, remember, social media is great, but you want to use social media to build your database. All right. Once again, you can get kicked off of social media and then you're going to be ass out, excuse the French. But you want to make sure that you build that database. And I'm telling you guys, when you build a database and you start putting offers out to that database and you start seeing that money come in while you're sleeping, trust me, it's going to change you all around. So once again, don't forget, if you're interested in being one of the 10 people in the live training, go to $1,000,000newsletter.com, and it's the first come, first serve. Only 10 people. It's only $97. We're also going to be doing a newsletter challenge. And so the 10 of us, 10 of you guys and myself, the 11 of us, we're going to create newsletters and we're going to have a challenge, and we'll decide what the prize is going to be for whoever has the best and most successful newsletter. And the beauty about this is too, that you can literally start this in one day, building a newsletter, but you want to have the logistics behind it. You want to think it out, because you can have all types of different newsletters, but you want to look at something, which is another benefit of starting a digital newsletter, is do something that you love. All right. Do something that you love. So once again, if you're into Porsches, create a Porsche newsletter, something that you would like to see. And so when you do that and you put in things or do things that you love, you're going to be able to fight through the hard times because you have a true passion for what you're doing, be it the topic or whatever. So think about the types of digital newsletters that you can create, even if you don't come to the training. Just think about some of the type of digital newsletters you can create and the monetization aspect behind it. Okay, once again, you don't have to create the content. You can set it and forget it with the software I'm going to tell you about during the training. Also, they're non-threatening, they're non-salesy. So once people come and get onto your list in your database and they start to trust you, and now you provide offers for them if you're solving problems or whatever. And so it's a non-threatening or non-salesy way to build a gigantic database. Also, creating your branded newsletters with auto content. Set it and forget it. You're also building trust and authority with your platform. You can build your audience anonymously. So once again, there's several of my coaching students that are doing things that have full-time jobs that don't want it exposed that they're actually doing something in their own field. And so you can build this anonymously. Okay, just start thinking about some of the things that you read all the time, or some of the trade or industry publications that are in the field that you work in. Say you work in corporate America. What are some of the trade publications in that field? I know I get Mortgage Originator. I still get that even though I'm not in the mortgage business. All types of housing type industry newsletters, because I was building, houses and flipping houses and all of that stuff, doing all types of stuff. So all of those newsletters I still get. Okay. The easy monetization. So you can sell any types of products or services. And we talked about the 6 types of things you can sell. And you can also sell that offers to that list outside of the actual newsletter. So you have their email, so you don't have to just communicate with them through the newsletter. You could do a joint venture or promotion with somebody and monetize that, okay? Also, guys, I'm telling you, it's one of the lowest cost ways to build a business for the long range, building the database. So I'm going to close with this. I always talk about it being a function of the numbers. So if you have 100,000 people in your database and you have 100 people in your database, right? So if you get a 10% conversion rate, right? With the 100,000 people database, you get 10,000 people that converted on whatever the offer is. With a $100 person database, you get 10 people. So it's a magnificent difference. So the numbers are going to be the same. Your conversion is going to be the same for the most part, but it's just a function of how many people you have in your database. So the question you need to ask yourself is, what is the easiest way to build a database around my business? You got to make sure you monetize it eventually. So it has to be aligned with whatever you're selling, whatever product or service you're selling. Okay? So it is one of the easiest ways to build a database. It's non-threatening. So once again, think about the things that you like to read. So the Rob Report, one of my buddies who, like I said, is big in Porsches. He reads the Rob Report, which has expensive cars and all types of expensive stuff in there. So he buys stuff for his Porsche out of there all the time. And so just think about that. I'm talking about, and that's why I titled this, guys, the easiest way to build your $1 million platform. Not the only way, not necessarily the best way, but the easiest way. And that's why I wanted to start off 2021, the first show, with this topic, because you have to understand you got to build your platform and your database. Whatever you do, family, if you don't listen to nothing else I say today or the rest of 2021 or forever, build your platform and your database. And one of the easiest ways to do it is to build a digital newsletter, a branded digital newsletter. So you're creating that brand. All right. And don't make it too technical. We're not even getting into the technical stuff today. We'll do more of that on the training. So before I close out, family, I say this each and every week. Please continue to spread the word about the podcast, the blog, the whole ecosystem of Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. You know, our objective is to build an economic power base in the Black community. And the way we do that is by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. Make a conscious effort and a conscious decision to do that. So please continue to spread the word. We get more and more downloads each and every week, and that's attributed to you, the BEB family. Make sure that you link up with me on social media. Go to bebconnect.com. Everything I talked about earlier, all my resource links and my social media contact information is on that page. It's just a page on my website. I shortened it down to bebconnect.com. Love you guys. See you at the same time next week. Peace.